Okay, so it looks like we're good to go. So thank you everyone for tuning in to our Mental Health and Motivational Monday presented by the Sex and Suicide Podcast. If you are a London, Ontario local and you've gone to any bar in the city, you must recognize this guy. We're here with the local musician, Mr. Zach McCabe. Zach, say hello.
Hi.
How you doing tonight, big guy?
Oh, I'm good, man. Good to see you. It's been a minute, so.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah, missed you.
When was the last time? Okay, I guess it would have been at the
Hypno show.
The Hypno show at UWO.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So the reason I have Zach here tonight is Zach's a very accomplished London artist, and you're doing some big things now. And Zach and I actually went on tour in the UK in the fall, so I had the pleasure of getting to know Zach up close and personal, if you will.
Yeah, it was very up close and personal.
Over and over again.
A lot of time in that van.
A lot of time in that van. A lot of time driving your drunk ass around in the back seat.
Yeah, that's true.
But, okay, so anyway, let's get to the Zach McCabe story and how you got started in the music industry and sort of your journey along the way to here.
Okay.
So tell me about, what kind of led to, when did you start playing guitar? Let's start with that.
I think I picked up a guitar around grade 10, grade 11. I was in the high school band when I went to Lucas here when I lived in London.
Right.
But I also played football. I didn't play guitar then. I played tuba, which is the nerdiest thing you could ever possibly do.
Sure.
But I didn't know. I was coming out of elementary school where I was, a tuba player in the band there.
Yeah.
And then transitioning into high school, they're like, you got to play in the band too to keep this shit alive.
Yeah. Tuba's pretty cool, man, in all fairness.
No, it's not.
It's that big-ass thing.
Following around fat people going...
It makes for good theme music.
Yeah, no, man, it was shit. But anyway, so I felt like I owed my school, Pearson, like a little... at least an extra couple years or something of playing tuba in the band. But I was also playing football and rugby too, so all my mates that were like playing, jocks, they were like, you're an idiot, like stop, what are you doing, you pussy?
They busted your balls a little bit for that
big
one?
Time. Like chirping the shit out of me all the time. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to play tuba anymore, but I still had that music.
Yeah.
I wanted to play music, so I was like, what do? I tried piano for a bit. I got sausage fingers, so that wasn't very...
So it all started with tuba.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Tuba.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was weird, but I was a big guy in school, so they're like, you could probably lug this home to practice.
Sure, they target you for your size at that point.
I want to play saxophone, dude. Come on.
Yeah. I actually played tenor sax when I was in public school.
I was probably freaking jealous as hell of a kid like you.
But you know what, though? You said you went to Pearson, right?
Yeah.
So this is the thing, is that I was the only kid in my family that didn't go to Pearson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the rest of and I have a younger brother and two younger brothers and a younger sister. Mm-hmm. They all went to Pearson, and then they all went to Central, so they did, like, the artistic route.
Oh, yeah.
But I, like you, went to Lucas, too. I was ahead of you, right, in Lucas?
Yeah.
Lucas?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I was only there for 2 years.
Okay.
And then I moved to Elmer, where I went to East Elgin then.
Right on.
That's where I kind of, like, started getting more into the guitar then.
Cool.
And they had, like, coffee houses and stuff. But I was still playing football and rugby, and I was, like, captain of the team, so...
So you're a jock and a musician.
Keep it low pro, like, just in my room, kind of fiddling around the guitar. And I never did a coffee house until my 5th year of high school.
Wow.
I didn't do any talent shows.
What was that like? I mean, tell me about that, because I've always been curious, and you and I have seen you on stage now.
Yeah.
So before your first performance, what was going through your mind, and how did you deal with that anxiety and emotion?
Self-medicated with a little bit of weed. Probably a couple cervezas.
Sure.
I put on sunglasses so I didn't have to see anyone.
Sure. You're just there.
I had a group of girls that came with me that were like super supportive, and because I was extremely nervous at the time, and they're like, no, you'll be great. Don't worry. And because they were like, 3 girls, and I was like, okay, fine, sweet. I'm like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I did my first coffee house 5th year of high school, and then off I went to Guelph U to go try to play football.
Right. So you're still planning on pursuing the athletic route more so than the musician route at this point in time?
At that point in time, I had to, because my grades weren't good enough to get into university, but because I was recruited to play ball, they made some allocations for me to come play. So yeah, I had to go play.
Okay.
And it was just a lot. It was really a different transition for me from high school, where I was like king dingaling to going to university where now you're a pussy runt. Like,
yeah,
they're coming at you hard, and like rookies don't get it easy, man. It was just a different dynamic for me, and I was kind of always had a little, like, in high school, kind of had a bit of a chip on my shoulder, like, and so when these guys were bullying me, so to speak, I wasn't having it. I didn't like it, and you kind of have to bend over and take it when you're that first. And it wasn't for me, so I didn't really, I didn't like it. I didn't fit well. Yeah. So then I just gave it up after first year and started focusing on music, and that's when I was hitting them open mics. And second year is when I got my first paid gig at Molly Bloom's in Guelph. I got $100 to go play on a Tuesday night. I had been hitting up their open mics religiously every week on Thursday nights because I had a few, hippie friends that would like to go there, and I got to get up on stage, and I started to feel that euphoric feeling where you like kind of lose yourself, and people are interested in your music, and so I was like, okay, I like this. This is like a cool high.
How long did it take before the nerves turned into that? Because I'm sure you obviously thought it was kind of something that made you nervous in the beginning.
Yeah.
How long did it take before those nerves went away and you started to feel that euphoria naturally? I mean, without the weed and the booze, but just sort of made that transition.
To loosen up, I'd always just drink beer.
Yeah. And I think everybody does.
I'd sit at the bar or the table with my friends and whatever, and watch the other musicians play, and we'd sip on pints, right?
Yep.
And, a couple pitchers later, I'd be feeling loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
And then I could get up there with no problems because all my insecurities are now gone.
Sure.
I'm comfortable, and, it actually made me more in tune with my, like, motor function because I'd have to adjust to being a little bit slower from the effects of the alcohol. So I can now do this shit in my sleep without even,
Sure.
So I don't know if it helped me, but
I think everyone thinks it does, because I remember back when I was in my early 20s and I was sort of getting up on stage and DJing in and out of the clubs, it was the same sort of idea, right? Where I felt like I needed to numb myself a little bit before getting up there.
Like even tonight, fuck, I gotta...
Sure. It's not easy. Like that whole thing... And when we were in Europe together, I was always watching and I was like, man, you always made it look so easy. But like for someone that's trying to be sober and getting up on a stage in front of sometimes, over 1,000 people in Europe anyway.
Yeah, we had like 2,000 in that room.
Yeah, a couple thousand people that one night. And I'm not the cool...
That was the night they made me chug all that beer up on stage.
Yeah, that's true. That was a great night.
They played Buffalo on me.
Yeah. We'll explain that. We'll explain that in a minute. We'll get into that. But when we were there, the thing is that you're still the cool guy with the guitar. I'm the guy going up there giving them a fucking consent talk. The only thing that's saving me is the fact that I get to hand out dildos on stage here.
I don't know if that was saving you or not. But.
So yeah, I don't know if it was either, right? But anyway, so but we'll get to that. But get back to when that feeling started. So do you think you became addicted to the whole stage present persona that you kind of...
Once I realized that I could get paid to do that was also a huge incentive. Yes, it was awesome. And yes, to this day, I still get, sometimes I'll be like tired and I won't want to go hit a gig, but I'm like, I have to, like, this is how I make money.
Yeah. It's still what you love to do. And
my job is, how could I ever complain about it? It's not something I can complain about because sometimes I'll be like, lackadaisic about going to it. I don't want to go there. And then I get there. And then I start playing, and I start getting vibe and reaction from the people in the audience, and then that feeds me, my energy, my spirit, my soul, and then I forget that I was even tired or didn't want to do it in the first place, and I start having fun again. It's like, I always know that that's going to happen, so even when I start to feel that, beforehand, I'm like, I don't want to drive an hour to go do this.
Yeah.
I get there and it's like that all goes away.
Right.
And I know that's going to happen. So when I start thinking that, I'm like, don't worry about it. Just get up and go, you idiot.
Yeah. Good for you, man. Because I bet you there's a lot of people that aren't pursuing their dreams right now, whether it's music or what, because of that fear. The fear of like, they think about a million miles ahead about what it takes to get there. But as soon as you are there, you know that it's all about the energy, and the energy is going to fuel you.
Absolutely. And like, probably for my first 100 shows or whatever, I was still dealing with the nerves and stuff like that. But I've played over, I want to say probably 1,300 shows.
Wow.
Easily.
Wow.
And so
how many per week are you playing now, per like give or take?
2 on average during the winter.
Yep.
And then in the summer, it goes up to like 4 or 5 a week.
Nice.
And,
Nice.
yeah.
So there is a seasonal difference in your income and in the amount that you play.
For sure.
Okay. Looking forward to summer then.
I'm lucky I get to be on, I'll shout out Northern Heat Rib Series because they put me on a tour every summer.
Awesome.
16 different cities in the GTA and even as far as St. Thomas, Ontario. So
Okay, cool.
well, close. I mean, so it's
Right.
nicer. Yeah.
Right.
But so yeah, shout out to those guys because they put me on every week.
Sure.
And then wherever the bars I'm playing at, weddings, parties, what have you.
Awesome. So let's go back to the Molly Blooms in, where was it, in Guelph?
Yeah.
So that's the first time where you had your first paid gig.
Right.
So after that, tell me what sort of chain of events happened to get you to where you are today? And then we'll tell everyone where you are today.
Well, I finished off university, and around year 3, I started dating a chick. Sorry, a girl that
A woman?
sorry, guys.
It's all good, man. You don't have to be PC here. Just be yourself.
So I started dating this girl, and we quickly moved in together and stuff. Probably way too quickly.
Okay.
And
It happens.
yeah, and
Done it myself.
So
Yeah.
I was there till I finished my degree, and then I stayed 1 year after, and I worked security for a bar called Trapper's Palace, which is a party town bar.
Okay.
Also affiliated with Mccabe's and Jack's and stuff around here.
Oh,
Cowboys.
okay, yeah.
So they're a big industry. Anyways, so I was working security and I was playing gigs and living in this apartment. That's what I was doing.
Yep.
And she was still going to school, working, and so I had a ton of free time during the day. Well, she was busy at school, and
Right.
I don't know, perhaps a little resentment built up for that. I think we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a little tension there, and she was also dealing with anxiety and the whole other slew of issues that if we decide to get into that. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, let's get into that right now. I mean, we can get back on track, but when you're dealing with someone and dating someone with anxiety and depression, I'm assuming a lot of the time they go hand in hand.
I was just reluctant to say it, but that's the next thing I was going to say.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So anxiety, depression, how was that for you dating someone that was going through those issues? Did you find that rubbed off on you at all? Did you start feeling...
No, dude, I don't feel those things.
Okay.
I'm a very easygoing guy.
Yeah.
And if it means I just gotta if I'm feeling tension, anxiety, or anything like that, I just puff a little reefer, man, and I don't care anymore. I deal with it in other ways. I go hit the gym and go work out, or play my guitar, or if I need to vent, I pick up a guitar and write some lyrics down.
Yeah.
And so I channel into something positive.
Sure.
When she was an artist, she would do art and everything, but she was dealing with a lot more mentally than I was, because I'm I don't understand,
Yeah.
I don't presume to understand.
Yeah.
But I couldn't justify the way she was acting, the why. I mean, I could get it, but
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, it's hard for someone that doesn't go through those kind of emotions to really even try. It's almost more annoying if you try to put yourself in their shoes if you don't get it, right?
Sure.
So you probably did the right thing.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
What were you doing there? Were you just trying to
I was just exhausting all my energy trying to bring her out of whatever little mental slump she was in, and
so she was draining your energy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it ended up there was she cheated on me. I'll say it. She cheated on me.
Okay.
And so I was and with a friend of mine too.
Really? That's the fucking worst, man.
Oh, dude, it was brutal. So I was enough's enough. I'm out of this apartment. The lease is up in a couple months. I'm I'm out of here.
Fuck, man. I'm sorry. That's tough, dude. That's...
You know what, though? At the time it was, but now it was exactly what I needed to have happen.
Sure.
To kick my ass into gear and move back home to London and start getting my feet in the door around here.
Yep.
Because it's way more... I want to say musically friendly.
Sure.
Than Guelph.
Okay.
Guelph's a smaller community. There's only a concentrated area of bars downtown. London's got dozens of venues. And
yeah.